216th day of heroic resistance of Ukraine. This is Natalia Staroprava, and we continue a series of our briefings at Ukraine Media Center. So today, the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic is celebrating its 120th anniversary. I would like to invite Volodymyr Syvokhip, Director General of the Lviv National Philharmonic, to tell us more about the meaning of this celebration for the cultural and historical heritage of Lviv. Good afternoon. Yes, that is true. For us, people from the Philharmonic and generally for the city, for Ukraine, it is a very important date. 120 years ago, to the day, in Lviv, there was the first concert of a newly created symphonic orchestra. And now, in times of war, when probably it seems not to be such a good idea to celebrate over the past 6 months, the Philharmonic is fighting on its own front line. We have this project which is called Muses Are Not Silent. We go on tours, and it is during the war that we can come to terms with the importance of this important date, because actually everything started back in 1939 when we had the new authorities. Well, we called them the liberators. They created some conditions, and that was the moment when the first professional symphonic orchestra was created. But it was 1902, in fact, and we are actually renewing this history. We understand that we had empires, we had monarchies, and it was not easy to trace all of that, because we can talk about Austro-Hungarian Empire, Poland, the Soviet Union, but the orchestra always played its function. First of all, we can talk about professional symphonic music, and if to sum it up briefly, well, since 1902, in the orchestra, we had performers, we had different people presenting their music, like Richard Strauss, Gustav Mahler, Bela Bartok, Maurice Ravel, Lev Koryvutsky, Boris Latoshinsky, and our contemporary composers, Stankovych, Skorysk, Valentin Silvestro. We can confidently say that Lviv Symphonic Orchestra is a true driving force of culture here in Lviv, and we take great pride in celebrating this anniversary. I would like to invite Mykhailo Sosnovskyi, director of the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic. Could you tell us more about the changes of your staff, about the main accomplishment that you have in your orchestra? I want to welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Well, the orchestra has been changing, the life of the orchestra has been changing due to all those historical events which unfolded in the city because of its cultural life, a political life which was there in the city. And these were the changes which went in line with the changes in our orchestra. At this point of its existence, we go on tours very often. We record very many CDs or music, some music which becomes part of our archive, which we want to have as part of our heritage to preserve it. And this is our everyday high quality work. Of course, we try to the best we can to support those who are defending us, both, well, morally and physically, in any way which is available to us. We try to actually act in accordance with the developments happening. I would like to invite Theodore Kuchar, Principal Conductor of the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic. Could you tell us more about the program for the celebration of this anniversary of the orchestra? Tonight, there will be three symphonic works played: Capriccio by Stanislav Lyudkevych, There will be a violin concert by Yevhen Stankovych, the Ninth Symphony by Antonín Dvořák, Capriccio by Lyudkevych had a world premiere in the same year when this orchestra was created. That is why tonight we are going to play it. Well, it will be like the second verse since the moment the orchestra was forced. Yevhen Stankovych, which to my mind is the most important Ukrainian composer of today. And no matter where I go, to Europe, to Australia, to the US, this is a household name when we talk about Ukrainian symphonic music. And the Ninth Symphony by Dvořák, this is not only a symphony which has American roots, but this composer who created this symphony, I've never thought about him as a Czech composer, but more as a Slavic composer. And when we try to compare our Ukrainian soul and folklore, so the language of symphonic music, then I think that he is the best representative. Thank you. We will talk more about the program and about the life of orchestra today. I would also like to invite Khrystyna Berehovska, who is an art director of a charity foundation, Kozytskyi and World. So what about this cooperation that you have between your charity and the orchestra, and what are your plans performing in Europe, in the world? So we and the world, this project, we support the Lviv Academic Symphonic Orchestra and National Philharmonic. We are a very important part because we say that Ukraine, part of our project is about Ukraine being heard and seen. That is why it's important for us to have highly intellectual musical contact with visual aspect. All of those concerts which will be played in the United States will be not only in a music format, but there will also be an exhibition. Our idea is to have an exhibition, some 10, 20 exhibits. We are working on different genres of Ukrainian artists, and they will show their works in actually Ukraine through the prism of art. So there will be visual and musical representation of Ukraine, because we know that this is the art which was created in times of war. So maybe some prehistory or some emphasis that you would like to place. Why is it of importance? What is the message that you want to get across? Well, this project was created during the war. Well, personally, I had to deal with the situation with Ukrainian artists and have some try to change the citizenship of Ukrainian artists and to change the family names into Russian sounding ones. That's why it's important to communicate that this is Ukrainian art with the Ukrainian works without any extras. We started with Hamburg, and the Germans, they clearly showed us, because, well, through our ex-ambassador Melnik, that cultural diplomacy in action is very important, even if it is random, even if it is something which we create on some lower levels, because we know that the Ministry of Culture should be responsible for that on a systemic level. But it always makes sense to keep working on that, because we know that if we wouldn't have enough drops, there wouldn't be the sea. We've done a lot already. There were many exhibitions. So cultural diplomacy in action is exactly what we need for the mission of our project. And the Philharmonic has made a statement about this great event. And actually, they want to have concerts in the best concert halls in the US. So it makes sense for us to join this project. What are the cities of the United States where you want to have this project presented, and what are the timelines? So we start, I guess, on the on the 13th of January. It will last till the 3rd of March, and we start with Florida, the 15th of February, Carnegie Hall. This is the most prestigious platform in New York, and I think that we've finished with New Jersey. Am I right? Chicago, sorry. And returning to the celebration of the anniversary of the orchestra, it's been the 7th month of an all-out war, but luckily we have the Philharmonic, we have the orchestra still working. And what about these changes which took place, and what is the situation like in times of war? So probably I'll pass it over to the director. It is a very good question, and I will be talking about the Philharmonic as an institution because it is not only about an orchestra. We have very many other performers and orchestras. We are all functioning in the same way because since day one, day two of the war, we became a huge center for volunteers and a humanitarian hub. So half of the premises is for medical supplies that we receive boxes with medication, and we send very many things to the liberated areas to provide for the needs of people there. And we were very happy, all our musicians, to receive, to help people who arrived here. We help with housing or with moving abroad. But then we, of course, return to doing what we are supposed to do. We organize different concerts. We have the project which is called The Muses Are Not Silent. We started playing concerts, but I think that everything what is taking place has a charitable objective to support the armed forces of Ukraine. I would not want to talk about the numbers. These are huge, considerable amounts of money, but all performers and in Lviv Symphonic Orchestra and other bands contributed to fundraising and all those concerts. All festivals which we had, Nino Katamadze's concerts or some charity fairs. The Philharmonic is doing everything to make sure that we achieve what we want, and this is victory. And to talk about the program of this celebration. So, what about these works which are going to be played today? How do they go in line with the reality in times of war in modern Ukraine? Well, we will prevail. It is a fact. What about this program and how it fits in? Well, Theodore has already mentioned about it. It's for the second time within 120 years there will be a work by Lyudkevych played. The first time it was played was 120 years ago in the first season of the Philharmonic. Probably each nation should have something very important happening to them, which makes us think that we have to go back to our original roots to clear them and to drink this clear water. And this is what the works of Lyudkevych represent. And Stankovych, he celebrated his 80th birthday, and we were jokingly talking that it is 80 with you and 120 with Philharmonic. If you combine these numbers, it makes 200. There's such a great history behind it. When we talk about symphonic music, on the 15th of February, we will have concerts in Carnegie Hall. The Philharmonic Orchestra will play Stankovich's works and this symphony. The premiere was 120 years ago at the very same venue, the Carnegie Hall, the most prestigious hall. That was the Symphony for a New World, because for Dvořák, a person from this old Europe who went to the US, who went to New York, it was uh, something completely unexpected. He mentioned that it was something absolutely new about this new world, but it's not only about Slavic things. There are many things which are close to us. When we will play this symphony, on our tours. It will be a symphony about Ukraine because this new Ukraine is reviving. This is the new world, and it will be the symphony of a new world to us, and we will bring it to the old world because the US is an old world already. So for those who would like to go to a concert, when does it start? What do you need to do if you want to go there? Well, actually, we have the website and many other resources with ticket sales. It starts at 6 o'clock in the evening, so you still have some time to get a ticket. Thank you. So today, the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic is celebrating its 120th anniversary, and I'm grateful for the presence of Volodymyr Syvokhip, Director General of the Lviv National Philharmonic, Mykhailo Sosnovskyi, Director of the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic, Theodore Kuchar, Principal Conductor of the Academic Symphonic Orchestra of the Lviv National Philharmonic, and today with us we have Khrystyna Berehovska, who is an art director of a charity foundation, We and the World, and they will go to the world with an important project. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for the conversation. We will meet at 3 o'clock. There will be a panel discussion. Stay